Our top story, President Biden signing an executive order today, not only going after big tech, but attacking free markets as well. Connell McShane is at the White House with the details. Hi, Connell.
Hey there, David. You're right. It wasn't just big tech. It was the president taking on big business in what he hopes eventually will be a big way. This was a sweeping executive order signed by President Biden at the White House this afternoon. It was aimed, he says, at promoting more competition in the marketplace, more competition across many different industries, eventually with the goal of helping consumers by lowering prices and raising wages.
Fair competition is why capitalism has been the world's greatest force of prosperity and growth. By the same token, competitive economy means companies must do everything they do to compete for workers, offering higher wages, more flexible hours, better benefits.
Now, to be clear about this, the president's plan today does not actually put any new rules or regulations in place right away. Instead, it provides something of a roadmap for the Commerce Department or another federal agency to write these new regulations eventually, which could have quite an impact down the road. But the president insists this is not an anti-business move.
I'm a proud capitalist. I spent most of my career representing the corporate state of Delaware. I know America can't succeed unless American business succeeds. But let me be very clear. Capitalism without competition isn't capitalism. It's exploitation.
I guess the other big event here at the White House today was President Biden's phone conversation with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. We're told that lasted for about an hour earlier in the day today. On the recent ransomware attacks, Biden is said to have warned Putin that the U.S. will take any necessary action to defend U.S. infrastructure and business, and a senior administration official adding to that this evening, saying that the U.S. response will become clear in the days and weeks ahead. David.
I'd love to see a take from that particular phone call in details. It'd be nice to see a verbatim of that. Connell, thank you very much. Joining me now to discuss is Steve Forbes, Forbes Media Chairman, and Liz Peek, a FoxNews.com columnist and Fox Business contributor. Wonderful to see you both here. So, Steve, the president claims he's a capitalist, as you do as well, of course. He says something sounds very reasonable. Fair competition is why capitalism has been the world's greatest force of prosperity and growth. So far, so good. But then you get into the details, and what do you find, Steve?
What you find is socialism by regulation, socialism by investigation, and this is a way of controlling the economy without formally taking it over. They're going to have to, businesses are going to have to pass muster on numerous things through numerous bureaucracies. And if they're truly interested in competition, they'd be removing roadblocks, especially for small businesses on the tax side and on the regulatory side. And if they're really interested in competition, David, they'd be promoting education savings accounts to break up the government monopoly in education K through 12.
Bingo.
I didn't hear anything on that, did you?
No, and I don't think we will over his term or terms as president. Liz, he claims to want to help small businesses. Again, that's fine. We all want to help small businesses. They are the engines of growth, particularly job growth in this country. But they are getting killed by his policies that keep people at home. There are 9.3 million unfilled positions, most of them by small businesses because of his policies. There's a huge demand for workers, and he's working against that.
Yeah, David, any number of surveys have shown that the #1 concern among small business owners and managers right now is finding good people.
Right.
And you're completely right. It has been government policies, in particular the extra $300 a week incremental unemployment compensation, that has really prevented people from going back to work. The good news is, I think it's 26 states now have stopped those payments, and you have seen an increase in people applying for jobs in those states. But you're completely right. If there's one thing that alarms small business right now, it's rising costs. It's not just labor, by the way. It's costs across the board. General Mills the other day said they were looking at inflation of 7%. All those costs are landing on small businesses in particular, and it's very tough.
And you look at energy costs, again, supply and demand, Steve. This president and his advisors don't seem to get it. Just as the demand is going way up for oil and gas, the supply is going way down because this administration is trying to kill fossil fuels. He's going directly against the laws of supply and demand, and you can't do that for long and get away with it.
No, and that's where he's vulnerable, is at the gas pump. When you hobble exploration, make it impossible to do anything on federal lands, and then you have the spectacle of this administration begging OPEC, increase your output. We don't want to get hit with more rising gas prices at the pump. Well, it's a contradictory. You're crushing it at home, then you're encouraging people who don't like us, like Iran and Russia, to supply more of our energy needs. Bizarre.
And then, Liz,
dangerous.
you have Jen Psaki blaming American consumers for not understanding what's happening with the prices at the pump. They understand perfectly well. First, they understand when they go to fill up. Second, they understand the fact that they are trying to kill the supply, the American supply, while going hand in hand to get more expensive, dirtier fuel from OPEC.
If you're asking me that, David,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. The energy policies of this administration are completely backwards. We are helping Russia increase their exports. We're helping Iran increase their exports, but we're not so keen on American companies doing that. It is really bizarre. And the one country that really benefits probably more than anybody else is the country that doesn't have oil, but is incredibly disadvantaged in competing with the United States, and that's China. So, I mean, if you really wanted to disadvantage American producers, not just oil producers, but across the board, manufacturers and everybody else, ramp up our costs of electricity and power via mandating renewables. That's what we're doing. That's why California has 50% higher electricity costs than the rest of the country. Soon the rest of the country will be there too.
So costs are going up because of inflation, costs are going up because of energy prices, and Steve, pretty soon costs are going up because of taxes as well. What are you expecting when the tires hit the road to find from this administration on tax hikes?
One can hope that the whole difficulty of getting tax increases through Congress will get rid of the worst of them. I think there's a realization that raising taxes is going to hurt the economy, and this is where the rising gas prices is going to help. People don't want prices going up, and the key thing for Republicans, David, is to make the connection between those tax increases and fewer job opportunities, fewer wage increases, a lower standard of living. When people hear that this is going to hurt future prosperity, they suddenly say maybe that isn't such a good idea, raising all those taxes, especially on capital gains. Everyone has a 401k these days.
Well, that's just about everybody does. And Liz, this particular series of executive orders claims that they will promote innovation and create even faster economic growth. Can you name a time in American history when more regulations and higher taxes have led to a promotion of innovation and a creation of faster economic growth?
You know, I really go back. It's really Obama 2.0, and I'm just so shocked that Biden doesn't get that the avalanche of regulations during Obama's 8 years produced the slowest recovery from a recession since World War II, right. David. I don't understand how they don't connect those dots and understand that what they're doing today, 12 federal agencies now looking into every facet of American industry to look for competitive problems after already taking on racism, taking on climate change. I mean, American businesses are going to be just hit with so many investigations and rules and regulations. It's exactly like what we saw under Obama, and it will not spur growth.
We'll see what happens.
And by the way,
very quickly,
David,
Steve, go ahead.
Biden calling himself a capitalist like Elizabeth Warren, who called herself a capitalist. Just an absolute perversion of the word.
Thank you, gang. Have a great weekend. Good to see you both.